Especially when you're playing sports, if you say you're slow, you've probably heard this at least once. You have to do the step. Step. Move your feet quickly. During a game, when the opponent changes direction or the ball pops out in front of you, there are times when your body reacts a beat, or rather a slightly ambiguous half beat, too late. If you talk about such worries, people around you often say this: your steps aren't right. You need to get your steps right first. But it's really strange. What exactly is this step, and how can this reaction become faster? Especially in sports where you have to react instantly to the ball or the opponent's movements, for example, tennis or badminton. These are very representative sports. In various sports like basketball or soccer, it doesn't just mean moving your feet quickly, it's also a key point that determines the performance itself. Step. Among them, I'll explain in detail the most famous and well known but rarely properly understood and applied split step. Once you know this, you'll perfectly understand with your head why one step is so important, and I'll also tell you the exercise method so you can perfectly embody it with your body. So please watch the video until the end and be sure to follow along. The reason the split step is important is simple. You have to do the split step to react instantly to the opponent's movement or the direction of the ball. But the reason why that immediate reaction is difficult in sports is it's because you can only roughly guess where it will move, and it's impossible to grasp it perfectly. If the opponent fakes, you might have to move differently than expected. That's why you need to be well prepared in advance for which direction to move. That is the split step, a stance with your legs spread wide apart. Usually, the split step is often talked about in sports with a lot of lateral movement, like tennis or badminton. It's not just important in these sports. In soccer, when you're running and suddenly turn sideways, that's called cutting. Or in basketball, to block an opponent's attack. Besides these, there are many other situations. This split step is key to changing the flow of the game. So, we've looked at the simple reason why this split step is important. If we look into how to do it in more detail, the structure of the split step. When it comes to the split step, many people misunderstand and are mistaken in two main ways. Oh, isn't that just jumping? Or isn't it just spreading your legs? Many people think of it this simply, but that's not it. Doing just one of the two won't make the split step work properly. Even if you do these two things, you have to do them correctly. As for the timing of the jump, let's take an example from tennis or badminton, where the split step is used a lot. You make a very slight jump at the exact moment the opponent's racket makes contact with the ball. Even though we call it a jump, it's such a slight hop that your feet just barely leave the ground. You take those airborne feet and land by spreading them apart. Now, this landing position, let's analyze this position in more detail. From a biomechanical perspective, if we look at it from the side, the leg is slightly forward. This is called hip flexion. And if you look at this position from the front, the legs are spread apart. This is an abduction movement of the hip joint. And it's not just that. You also need to pay close attention to your feet. The landing foot should be positioned so that the weight is on the big toe. From this position, if you need to move to the right, you must push off the ground with your left big toe to start. You should use that momentary elastic force to move without lingering on the ground. How quickly and elastically you can apply this ground reaction force to your next movement. That's what I'd say is the core of the split step. So how can you practice this split step? Here's the training method. Jumping jacks. The movement is simple. You start by standing with your feet together. Using that elasticity, you'll do a light jump and spread your legs a bit wider than your shoulders. Then, without any delay, you'll repeat the motion of quickly bringing your feet back together. First, when you land with your legs spread, your weight shouldn't be on your entire foot, but on the front part of your foot, specifically on your big toe and the head of the metatarsal. Once you really get the hang of this, at the very moment your legs spread outward, you'll be able to master the feeling of the split step using that elasticity to push off quickly. Now, let me point out a few common mistakes people make with this exercise. Things like jumping way too high or staying on the ground for too long with your legs spread, these are very common. Also, supporting your weight on your heels or letting it shift to your little toes. Make sure none of these things happen and focus on moving quickly and nimbly. Once you've gotten the hang of that, let's move on to the side step exercise. This exercise not only helps you perform the split step well, but it's also about what happens after the split step, how nimbly you can move side to side. That's incredibly important, isn't it? That movement is what the side step is all about, so training it well is a crucial point. The method for this exercise is actually simple. With your knees slightly bent, spread one leg out to the side. You'll push off the ground with your big toe and lift your other leg up into the air to the side. You'll move sideways by repeating this motion. At first, start by just walking through the motion. As you get more comfortable, gradually build up speed until you're moving almost as fast as you would when running. Now, the thing to watch out for here is the direction of your toes. If your feet turn outward, you'll end up landing on your heel, which makes it difficult to properly use your big toe, the main driver for the side step. And it's not just that. Changing direction while doing the side step is also very important. When you're moving to the right and then have to dash back to the left, you need to change direction instantly without any hesitation. Being able to switch directions that quickly is a key point. So, with jumping jacks and side steps, we've laid the foundation for a good split step. But ultimately, the muscles that create this movement need to have enough strength to support it. That's what allows you to use the split step quickly and with stability. So from now on, I'm also going to introduce some supplementary exercises to strengthen the three muscle groups that are essential for a good split step: the muscles of the big toe and the muscles that move the hip joint outward and inward. Supplementary exercises. First up is the calf raise. This is the movement where you lift and lower your heels, basically going up on your tiptoes. Make sure to put more of your weight on your big toe. Slowly lift your heels onto your tiptoes, making sure to shift your weight onto your big toes. Your little toes should almost lift off the ground. Since this is a heel lifting movement, you'll feel it a lot in your calf muscles, the main muscles for ankle movement, specifically the gastrocnemius and soleus on the back of your calf. But beyond that, there's another point you should pay special attention to and really feel the engagement. There's a muscle called the perineal muscle, which runs from your big toe area to the outside of your ankle. This is the outer part of your calf. You should be able to feel a lot of engagement in this area as well. The next exercise involves standing and lifting your leg out to the side and then inward. As I mentioned with the split step, side step, and jumping jacks, an important part of the movement was spreading your legs apart and bringing them back together. For this, your legs need to move outward and inward effectively. So we're going to work those muscles by standing and kicking one leg inward and outward. When you kick your leg strongly inward, you'll use your adductor muscles on your inner thigh. And when you kick outward, you'll use muscles on the outside of your hip, like the tensor fasciae latae, gluteus minimus, and gluteus medius. Moving your leg quickly like a pendulum is good, but it's also a great idea to start slowly. Feel the engagement in your inner thigh as you bring your leg in, and feel it on the side of your hip and pelvis as you move it out. Once you can feel that, you can gradually speed up the movement. So I've explained why the split step is important and how to do it well, from the principles to the methods, so you can really internalize it. In today's split step explanation, I focused mainly on side-to-side movements to the left and right. From this position, if you need to run forward, you'll slightly kick your foot back, lean your body forward, and accelerate. I covered how to accelerate forward quickly in a previous video. For the key points on that instantaneous acceleration, you can click the card above to check it out. Conversely, there are times when you need to turn and run backward. In that case, you'll extend one leg forward as you turn your body to run back. In the next video, I'll cover how to decelerate quickly, how to change direction, and how to turn and run backward. These situations involving movement in various directions happen frequently in sports and are key elements that often get the crowd excited. I'll cover those elements in detail and explain how you can actually improve your performance in sport. If you're interested in these topics, please check out the other videos on my channel, subscribe, and look forward to future content. Also, I'm providing video resources that you can watch and follow along with to practically apply what I've discussed today and improve your performance. Please check the link in the pinned comment for that. Thank you for watching today's video to the end. You've tried changing your exercise form, doing supplementary workouts, and following all sorts of YouTube videos, right? But if your skills still aren't improving and your knees or feet are uncomfortable, you have to try these. I strongly recommend them. I tried them once and replaced all the socks in my house with them. That's because the feeling of your feet firmly gripping the ground is completely different. It's not just for jogging. In sports with frequent changes of direction like soccer or tennis, when you're taking steps, your feet don't slip and they grip the ground firmly. This allows the power from your lower body, like your calves and thighs, to be transferred precisely, and your speed definitely increases. And it's not just me who feels this way. Athletes like Son Heung-min and An Si-young are also known to regularly use these socks. It's not just for exercise. Even in daily life, like when you're walking with a wider stride, the stability is so good that I now only wear WeFoot non-slip socks. I've included a link in the pinned comment with a detailed explanation on how to purchase them. So I really hope you all get to experience this feeling for yourself.